So, as you guys know, the Spurs have been adding more and more coaches to their arsenal, right? The one in which I was very excited about, we can see right here. Shout out to ChatGPT on this one. Williamson, right? Um, NBA champion, great defensive mind. That was huge. That was a huge addition. And it seems like the Spurs are trying their best to make sure they put as many great coaches around Mitch Johnson as humanly possible. And we know that young coaches, they need that, right? They need some guys with a little bit more experience, guys like Williamson who can talk directly to guys, directly to the team, right? It's not good enough just to be a basketball mind. You know, you also need to be able to relate to people. And with the Spurs being, we're going to be a very good defensive team, at least on paper. We should be. There's no excuse for us not to be. They're making sure that they get as many good defensive minded coaches around this team as humanly possible. By the way, I want to mention that Jimmy Barron been doing a phenomenal job in player development. Mostly our shooting coach, right? That was our shooting coach now. I think he's been doing a really good job. I mean, if you look at like the development of Jeremy Sohan recently, like he looks really good. I know it's not just Jimmy Barron, there's lots of coaches that's helping him, but big deal. So the Spurs did go ahead and add someone else to their arsenal, and you might have remembered him, right? You might have seen him in the finals quite a few years ago. Rashard Lewis. So Rashard Lewis has been working around the Spurs for a minute now, from what I understand. But I think that this is going to work very well because there are quite a few similarities, especially offensively, between him and how Wembanyama likes to play. So that's going to be really nice, right? I think that Wemby will be able to learn a lot from Rashard Lewis. And yeah, it just seems like the Spurs are just packing this sideline with relatable players, good, relatable former players. You know, it's nice. Actually, seems like Mitch's team now. Yeah. And when I say the Spurs, obviously he has a say so, right? Like it's not just like, oh, you're just puppet on a string, right? Like he's choosing these guys as well. And this just looks like a very promising team, right? Very promising, smart, and could potentially end up being one of it should be, by the way. I don't think this is hyperbolic in saying this. It should be one of the greatest defensive teams the NBA has seen. Eventually. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think in the next coming years, it should be. Like Wemby is one of the greatest, should be, end up being the greatest defensive player we've ever seen. We have elite defenders left and right? You have Sohan, you got Castle, you got, I even think Dylan Harper's a pretty decent defender. You got Fox, who's a pretty decent defender. You got Carter Bryant, who's going to be elite. Like you have a lot of defense. You got Luke Cornett coming off the bench for Wemby. It's just a really good looking team. And I think that I think our expectations, I'll say this, a year ago, when we talked about where the Spurs will be, some people didn't like what I had to say. I was kind of back and forth. I was like, I don't know if they'll be that good. And, I don't think we'll make the playoffs. And I was kind of stuck on that for a while. Like, I don't think we make the playoffs, guys. I don't think we make the play-in. But this year, expectations should be high. And I'm going to keep my expectations high unless something crazy happens, right? Like major injuries or something like that. Hopefully it doesn't. Cross our fingers. Everyone's young. But at the end of the day, that's the only way I would change my mind on this. It's going to be a huge disappointment if the Spurs, I say, aren't at least 4th, 5th seed by the end of the season. They're that good. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be some good stuff. But yeah, my ceiling is 6th seed, but low end playoff team for sure. I hope. Your ceiling is 6th seed. My ceiling is 4th. That's my ceiling. My ceiling is 4th. My floor is 7th. Like, I think you're right. I think it's gonna be 4 to 7. Like, we're that good. 5 or 6, I think. And keep in mind, guys, you get 4th or 5th in the Western Conference in the playoffs. anything can happen. Now, will they go all the way? You know what? It just depends on how well they mesh this season. We'll have a pretty good understanding of where this team is, say like February, but how much that they're clicking chemistry wise, off the court and on the court, I think that we can start making some predictions whether or not we go on a run and not just the playoffs, right? But I'll be honest with you guys, on paper, this is kind of sick. Top 3 is silly. I'm gonna say 4 is silly. I don't know if we make top 3. I mean, it's a stretch in our schedule where we are playing. It's like 10-3, like 10 away games, 3 home games. I mean, I know we got the rodeo road trip and all that, but it looks like deadly. Like, I don't know, that might hurt us a little bit because everything's gonna be close. That's gonna be a wild stretch, but if they can fight through it, and we got the leadership to do it, right? Fox, if we get some close games, I trust Fox to finish it. Next year, I'll say top 4 with more experience, and it's just the wild west. Yeah, but if you're at a solid 4 for most of this season, I think that's a Spurs team that can go on a run. I'm not going to count them out. And I want to say Wemby just needs the experience. But Wemby put his team on the back and went all the way to the end of the Olympics, you know? Like, he's kind of a freak of nature. Even if he's not the best possible product of what he's going to be, he's kind of a freak of nature. We finished 4-7, I believe, if we stay healthy. I just hope Vassell comes off the bench to help Harper, Barnes, and Sohan should start. Harper, Barnes, and Sohan should start. We're on the same page there. Yeah, I think Harper should start, Barnes should start, Sohan should start. I've kept track of everybody that told me that Harper won't start, just so I can call them out. I think he's going to start, so we'll see. I hope you're right. That's a hell of a season, top 4. It's an insane season. But I on paper, they're that good. It's just a matter of, how well they gel. But, these types of players that we have, it's not a lot of, how could I say it? A lot of projects, a lot of waiting to see. I just don't think we have that. Like, Dylan Harper is a high IQ player. Like, he's going to be really good pretty early. I said the same thing about Castle last season, and some people didn't agree with that. They were like, "Oh, he needs to play first." And I'm like, Castle is very high IQ. He's gonna fit right in jail, and he did. Now shooting has sucked, but I didn't expect him to have good shooting. And I think Harper's the same way. He's gonna be pretty good early. He's gonna be far ahead pretty early. It's the Fox, Castle, Barnes, Sohan, Vic should start. Sorry. I meant Vassell should help Harper off the... Oh, sorry. Vassell should help Harper off the bench. It's the best defensive lineup we can put together. I'm not mad at that. I just trust... As far as, I guess Fox is dynamic enough offensively, but I was just thinking at that shooting guard position, how dynamic Harper is as far as a scorer and even an off-ball shooter. I like him a little bit more than Castle. But I agree with you. Castle being on the court is a better defensive lineup. But I'm a roll with Harper. Yeah, Olynyk. Yeah, you got Olynyk on the team. The rim pressure we have is crazy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's what would make it really. If Keldon can get his shooting together and Sohan is shooting consistent outside shots, that's going to help. It's just an exciting season. I'm looking forward to it. This is good news. This is great news.